Hi, I'm Joe. So by now you've read about apprenticeships and now you want to start applying, but you're not sure where to start. Well, I'll show you where to find them, what to expect, and what you need to do to be successful in the interviews. Now, if you're applying for apprenticeships, what you have to keep in mind is that it's got nothing to do with uni. You're applying to apprenticeships just as you would apply to jobs, directly with the employer. So there's nothing to do with UCAS, there's not even anything to do with the university or college offering the apprenticeship qualification. That's all handled by employers beforehand. So all you have to do is just go on and apply like it's a job and hope that you get accepted, of course. That's a big part. But there are some other ways you can find apprenticeship opportunities beyond the employer themselves. The first place is the government apprenticeship portal. It lists a lot of apprenticeships from level 2 to 3 apprenticeships, which are equivalent to an A-level, all the way up to ones that are master's degree, which is level 7. So you can find a ton on the government website itself, on that portal, because companies will list it with the government to make it more widely known, because people tend to search on there anyway. So if you're a smaller company, you might post it on there because you're unlikely to get people visiting your niche website. So it's more likely to be discovered by potential candidates. But it's not just the small companies. A lot of the larger firms like BMW, Rolls-Royce, they're also advertised on there as well. So what happens after you've found an apprenticeship that you want to apply for is you can apply directly through that portal, or what you'll be given is a link to that company's website, and then you click on that link and you'll be taken to that company's website to apply. Beyond the government website, you can find apprenticeships on websites like Not Going to Uni and Find Apprenticeships as well. And what these types of sites do, no, that's not right. What these types of sites do is collate a bunch of apprenticeships across the web and then put it all in front of your face in one page. So when I started applying, I thought that the government website and these third-party sites displayed all the apprenticeships available, but actually they don't display all of them. Some of the companies tend to have apprenticeship opportunities on their own site, but that are not displayed on other websites. So it's important to have a look on the company or the employer's websites for the employers that you're interested in. Some of them just don't pop up when you search for them on the government or the other websites. You have to go to their website, like the employer's website, like the one that's like theirs, you know? So what you do is you go onto their website and then just go onto the careers page and then search for apprenticeship, apprenticeships, a keyword related to apprenticeship, and then the open opportunities should show up. And if they don't, what you might find is that they'll have a link for you to register your interest for when they do become available. So you'll be the first ones to know about it and the first ones to apply. So it can be helpful when applying to know what kind of sector, what kind of apprenticeship you want to do, because then that narrows the number of websites that you want to go and visit, or the number of employers you want to go and visit to see if they have open opportunities. But make sure you're looking for apprenticeships in the right places. For example, if you want to do a healthcare related apprenticeship, don't look on the Morgan Stanley website. You're just not going to find one. But if you want to do a tech apprenticeship, then you have a wider range or a wider scope to actually look for employers, because even the NHS, even all the engineering companies, auto companies, everyone has tech apprenticeships. A good strategy might be to look through the government website, find an apprenticeship that you're interested in based on its description, and then look at the employer and find similar employers and go on their sites and see if they offer any. If you found an apprenticeship by an employer and you want to find more employers that's similar to that company, use this tool to find a lot of related companies. The way companies hire apprentices differ depending on the size of the company and the type of company you're applying to. But in any case, these 4 stages are probably likely to happen one way or another. So initial screening, a short video answer submission, an assessment center, and interviews. The initial screen is for your CV. It's kind of unbeknownst to you how they do it. It could either be AI and automated screening your CV, or it could be manual, could be a person. But it's essentially assessing your CV against the job spec or the apprenticeship specification. Either way, even if it's automated or it's a person doing the review of CVs, just make sure you have an updated one and one that's appropriate for the company you're applying to. The company will essentially filter out all those that are ineligible for an apprenticeship, but also that don't look like they've made much of an effort with their CV, or don't have anything to basically put on their CV other than their GCSE grades. Even if they were bad and you didn't do A-level or college education, that's fine. Anything voluntary or any extracurricular stuff, you need that on there. Just beef it up a little bit by adding something. Usually 10 to 40% of candidates get through the initial screening to make it easier for recruiters to actually review proper candidates, because otherwise they'll have too many interviews to do and no one has time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. The next stage is either a phone call from someone just to have a light-hearted conversation, give you a little bit of information, put you at ease, kind of get to know you a little bit on the kind of soft skills side of things. Or it could be a video submission of some interview questions. So it prompts an interview question, you have to record yourself answering that interview question and submit it. But communication, that's what they're looking for in this stage. Either your communication skills through the phone, or how well can you provide a comprehensive, structured answer to general interview questions. No matter what industry you applied for an apprenticeship in, these soft skills are really important, and communication is probably high on most people's list. But just don't waffle, just get the point across with the evidence that matters, and just leave out the excess. And if you get through that, the next stage is likely to be a group assessment, which is where you have a group of candidates and you'll likely do a challenge or partake in discussions with that group to test your, again, communication skills and also your team working skills as well. It's common for degree apprenticeships to hire apprentices in cohorts. It's so that you have someone on the same learning path as you and you're able to bounce off someone throughout their apprenticeship. It might be 2, it might be 4, it might be 10, whatever the size of the company determines how many apprentices they take on. Certainly as an apprentice, you're expected to be a sponge and try and learn as much as you can from others in your team, others in the business, those people who have a lot more experience than you. Then you need to be a sponge and start learning off them, because that's the point of the apprenticeship. You have that work experience you don't have access to anywhere else if you're taking on a qualification. I think that's the most valuable part. The different perspectives that you get to gain from those experienced people will help you build your experience and build your knowledge in the industry. But working as part of a team is probably the biggest non-negotiable as an apprentice, probably as an employee actually. Organizations, the last thing they probably want to do is hire someone that would disrupt harmony in a team and is really hard to collaborate and work with. So group assessment is great insight for a recruiter to see how you work as part of a team. In this part, they're also looking for leadership skills as well. Even if your ideas are not the best, you're contributing to the team and you might also want to actually get other people's contributions to be discussed as well. And that's a really good thing. Offering original opinions is really important, not just copying what everyone else is saying. Bringing something new to the table. If you're successful through that, or sometimes this is done together, but then the next stage is an interview. Now every company does this differently, but this is where you win your opportunity. It's a chance for the company to see if you can back your chat, and if you've waffled on your CV, this is where they'll find out. But the key thing here is that they're interviewing you for your personality and to see if you're a right fit for the company. I've said it in previous videos, apprenticeship is not the same as a job. They're not hiring you based on your CV experience in, Oxfam or some charity shop or your part-time job at Primark. They don't care about your experience, really. They're looking towards the future. They're looking to see if you'll be a successful candidate and whether you'll be a good employee for the company in the future. They're looking to invest in you. So in the interview, just kind of prove to them why they should invest in you. Considering they want you to be part of a team, make sure you're contributing and absorbing as much information as you can. I reckon these are the 3 main things employers are looking for when hiring an apprentice. This is just personal opinion. Number 1 is attitude towards learning. There's a lot of learning to do in an apprenticeship, probably a new field, a new industry, a new people, a lot of new things to get used to, which means you need to be really fast at picking up the information given to you pretty much on a daily basis.
All this new information daily, and if you can't pick it up, then you're going to be left behind. If they see that you just cruising and you're not really taking the opportunity by its neck, then they're not going to want you.
My camera died, so I'm using my phone. The second thing you need is the ability to be outstanding. So even if you've not got any experience in this field, that's fine. They need to see that you're able to excel at something. And the main things you need to excel at something is the determination and the perseverance. They want to see, yes, this candidate actually has the ability to absolutely smash it in this role and in the future. They want to find the Jude Bellingham of IT or engineering. You. Jude. So in your interview, talk ambitiously, but talk about focused goals. So think about saying something like, I want to achieve this thing by 2 years by doing A and B, but I've already started doing C in my spare time for this many months. That's an example. Shows you're ambitious and that you have potential. And the third thing is similar, but it's adding value to the company or the team. So during recruiting, people are looking for qualities in you that reflect their own company's values. They want to see that you can add something from a diverse perspective that align with their company values, but is also something new to the table. To be honest, this is just something you'll have to show them exactly what it is through your mannerisms, characteristics, and your charisma in your interview. When you apply, I said earlier, when you apply, just make sure you have an updated CV, but make sure you have a good CV. And like I said, even if you haven't had much experience in different jobs and stuff, that's fine. Just add as many extracurricular activities that are appropriate to the apprenticeship you're applying to. Even if they're not, just add it in there if you've not got anything else. That's fine. But if you have had other job experiences, make sure the most relevant and closest ones to the apprenticeship you're applying to are at the top. So my 3 tips for CVs would be: keep it concise. It's a trailer about you, not the movie. Try and match the company values and even the company colors in your CV. So I even change the wording and stuff to reflect their values. And thirdly, when you write a little statement about yourself, write it in third person. It's just something my brother taught me. There are so many other tips and templates of CVs that you can get out there on the internet, so make sure you just pick a decent template and fill it with the relevant information. And then just start applying like mad. It took me about 13, 14 apprenticeships to get one, so don't be sad if you don't get one in the first 2 or 3 attempts. It's fine. A whole bunch of bad interviews can only be good experience for the next one. And apprenticeships can start at different times of the year, but usually they start either in January or in September. So people are hiring throughout the year, but mainly start to look at around April time, which they'll start applying hiring for apprentices intake in September, and then around September time where they're hiring for intake in January. If you get accepted after the interviews, then you can gracefully accept or decline if you've got a better one. And that's all there is to applying for apprenticeships. It's just about getting through as many applications as you can and just applying like mad. Honestly, apply like mad. Anyone you find, just go apply. Even if you don't really want it, the interview experience could be really helpful in the one that you do really want. I've got a whole video series on apprenticeships, how to apply to them, what they're like, what it involves, everything. So please check that out if you want to know more. Have a good one. In a bit.